Hey solo gamers, welcome to Soloed Quest. I am Ed and today I'm here to teach you how to play Friday. We're gonna look at the basic rules of the game, just so you can get a good sense of how the game is played, how the turn works, and how to go through a full game while playing solo, okay? This is a solo only game, so that's going to be straightforward, okay? So here are the components for Friday. So this is the hazard deck that the game has. These are basically the challenges you're going to face every turn. Okay, this is the challenge side, and if you are able to complete the challenge, if you're able to get through it and succeed, you get to flip the card around. Okay, and then you can use it to your benefit. So this card becomes then one of your fight cards, one of the cards that you can use. Okay, so this is a neat little mechanic of the game. So cards have a double use. Okay, they are both hazards, and when the hazard is done, you can use it to your advantage, and they will be shuffled on your fight deck, which is this. This is your basic deck. So it has this little information here on the top, which is the fight value of each card. So this is what each card adds to your fight value. Okay, so zeros, a lot of zeros at the start, some ones, and there's a 2 somewhere around here as well. Okay, so this is your fight deck, which you will be upgrading during the game with these better cards that you get by defeating the hazards. You also have, okay, this is your life tokens, just to show you very quickly. Okay, I don't know, they look like a leaf, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. And then there's the aging cards as well. These are cards that you will be also adding to your fight deck every time you have to shuffle it. So when you deplete this deck, when you use all the cards, you shuffle it back, you shuffle all your discarded cards, and you have to add one of these aging cards, okay? Then what does the game bring? Okay, the game brings you these pirates, which are your enemies. You have to defeat 2 of these pirates in each game. You always draw one randomly, okay? You have to defeat one at the end of the game. And then it also brings these phase cards. So I'm going to show you now how the game works. So the game, this is the hazard pile. You have a green phase, a yellow phase, and a red phase. If you can see, as you can see, the hazards also have a green number, a yellow number, and a red number. So how is the game played? So you start at the green phase, so you put the yellow on top of the red, and then the green on top of the yellow, okay? Just to show that you're starting on the green phase. And then you draw 2 hazards, okay? This of course is flipped upside down. You don't see it. This is just for rules purpose. I'm just removing them like this. So every turn is basically the same. You draw 2 hazards, you put them on the table, and then you choose which one you want to try and fight. So at the start, your fight deck is really crappy. It's pretty crappy. So having these ones with a big value, like 5 total, you have to fight a total of you have to get, a total of 5 fight power. It's hard. It's really hard. This deck, I think it has a 1 card with a 2 power, and then it has like 3 cards with a 1 power, and then the rest is either zeros or -1s. So it's practically impossible to get this 5. You have to be really lucky. So you choose one. The one you want to fight, you leave it here, and then the other one goes to the discard pile of the hazard deck. I'm gonna flip it, just as if we were playing a real game, okay? This goes to the discard pile. Then what do? You look at this number. This is the number of cards that you are allowed to draw for free in order to fight this hazard. So this one allows you to draw 2 cards. So you go into your fight deck, let's flip it around, let's say it was shuffled, and then you draw 2 cards, 1 and 2. Let's say, I'm not gonna draw, just to explain it. Okay, you can draw 2, okay? You're not forced to, because why? Why am I saying this? Because this has you have to get a value of 1. I drew my first card and it's a 1, okay? Which means that I've already defeated this hazard, so I don't have to draw the second card. So the game allows you to stop, okay? If you draw one card, or let's say this had a 4, you draw 2 cards, and you've defeated your objective, you can stop. You can stop, and why is that good to stop? Because you don't want to go through this deck too fast. Because once again, if you deplete this deck, you're adding one of those aging cards, and those cards are bad news, okay? So we defeated this hazard. What do we do then? We flip it around, we pick these 2 cards up, and we put it on the discard pile, okay? That's pretty much it. You go through this again and again, you know, draw 2 hazards, you look at them, these are the same, so you can look at the rewards. What would I get if I defeated the hazards? And then choose, oh, I would prefer this one. Then this one is discarded, and we try and fight this one. We look at the number of cards we can draw, 1. We draw 1. We needed a 0, we got a 1, which is nice. So we flip it around, we just got this card, and it goes here, okay? And then you do this every single time, okay? Once, let's say you need to fight a hazard, okay, 4, 4, 3, 2. Let's say we choose this goes discarded, and we only had 1, this was all discarded, let's just pretend, and I only had 1 card here, okay? So I need to draw 3, so I draw 1, and then there's no more cards to draw. So what do? I pick up this discard pile, okay, and I add one of these aging cards, okay? These are all pretty bad news, so let's say these are supposed to be shuffled as well. So I pick one up, I put it on top of my deck, I don't look at it, I don't know what aging card this is, and then I just shuffle it. Not like this, but as a proper shuffle, okay? You shuffle it, you put it here, and then you keep drawing. 1, 2, okay? So now I have my 3 cards, and let's look at this example. I needed a 2 value, and I got 0, 0, -1. So I'm missing 3 to get to this objective, okay? What can I do? I can either pay life points to keep drawing cards and try to get to 2 value, which is going to be very hard. So another thing I can do, if I think I can't complete this hazard, is just pay the life points that are missing. So let me explain. I have 0, 0, -1. So I needed a 2, so I have to pay in life points the value that I'm missing. So -1 to 2, that's 3. So -1, I pay 1 life is 0, 1 more life is 1, and then 1 more life, 2. Okay, so I'm matching the hazard like this with life points. And for each life point that I pay, I can get rid of one of these cards for good. I can remove them from my deck. This is very handy at the start because your deck is full of bad cards that have either 0 or -1, and the -1s are really, really bad. So if I pay this 3 life, I can get rid of it, and I can remove these cards from my deck for good, okay? So it's sometimes it's actually good not to complete the hazard, because you can get rid of really bad cards. Now, when you fail the hazard, you don't flip it around and put it on this card, because I didn't succeed, okay? You have to succeed and get this value to gain the reward. So when you can't get the reward, just put it on the discard pile, and then you keep going, okay? So that's pretty much the basic of Robinson. So that's what happens when this deck is depleted, okay? You pick up one of the aging cards, you put it on top, you shuffle it back. Then what happens when this deck is depleted, the hazard deck? When you don't, let's say we had 1 hazard left. Let's say we had 1, okay? Okay, when you have 2, you just draw the 2, you choose 1, it gets one of them is discarded, the other you complete it, okay? When there's only 1, the game allows you to choose if you want to do it or not. So let's say we had only 1, it was wild animals, and I don't want to do it, so I can just discard it, I'm not forced to. If I had 2, I could try and complete the last one, you know, discard 1, complete the last one. And then we're at this situation when it's another turn, we have to draw a hazard, and there's no cards here. So what do? We changed our phase. That means that we are now not in the green, but in the yellow, okay? We pick up the hazard discard pile, we shuffle it, again properly, not like this. We give it a good little shuffle, and we put it back on top, and the game is exactly the same, except right now we're drawing 2 hazards and we're looking at the yellow numbers, not the green ones, the yellow numbers, okay? So now we have to defeat the yellow hazards in order to gain the rewards, okay? And then the game just goes around, it's exactly the same. If it gets depleted once again, then you just pick this up and we're at the red phase, okay? And then we face the red numbers. Pretty straightforward, right? Let's say we do get through the red phase then. We completely deplete this deck. What happens after the red phase? Then we face these pirates, okay? The 2 pirates that we randomly drew at the start, let's say it was these 2, we have to face them. So, let's say this pirate, let's say we had this guy to fight. It fights exactly as a hazard. So this one would be, it allows us to draw 9 cards for free, and we have to get a total fighting power of 35. Okay, let's say our second pirate was this one. It would allow us to draw 10 free cards, and we would need to get a total fighting power of 52, where each face-up fighting card counts with +1 fighting point. Okay, so this is pretty much it. We draw 2 hazards. We then look at the free cards we can draw, and then we draw them from our fight deck. If we think we can beat the hazard, it's good. We can pay some life points to keep drawing more fight cards. If we think, no, I won't be able to do it, let's just pay life points to meet the hazard requirement and discard to get rid of bad cards that I drew and remove them from my deck for good. Okay, so that's pretty much how Friday is played. This is a very general rules overview. If you want to see how the game is actually played and maybe in more detail, you can check out my next video. It's a full playthrough of the game. Hopefully I can show you a win, or at least I hope I can get to the pirates and show you how to fight them. Okay, so if you're interested, follow the show notes or just go to the next video, the playthrough. And that's it, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions in particular, to any point in particular, let me know. Okay, guys? See you on the next one.